After 60, breakfast is no longer just a habit. It can be the medicine that keeps you strong and independent for years to come, or the poison that quietly robs your memory, your muscles, and your freedom. Harvard Medical School reports that when older adults eat refined carbs in the morning, their blood sugar spikes almost the same way as drinking a can of soda. Mayo Clinic also warns that after 50, your body naturally becomes less efficient at handling insulin. That means a simple bowl of packaged cereal or a glass of boxed fruit juice can hit your system much harder than when you were younger, causing rapid blood sugar spikes, poor insulin response, and long-term damage through inflammation, fatigue, and memory decline. Picture this. You eat breakfast and feel sharp for about 20 minutes. Then your eyes grow heavy, your knees ache a little more. Your mind turns foggy, and within an hour, you're hungry again. Cleveland Clinic has shown that this blood sugar roller coaster is one of the key reasons many older adults lose strength, lose muscle, and eventually lose independence. The danger is that these harmful breakfast foods are often disguised as healthy. Juice bottles labeled 100% natural. Yogurt cups stamped low-fat. White bread claiming to be fortified with vitamins, but the science is clear. Behind the label, these foods are loaded with refined sugars, fast-digesting starch, and industrial oils. Together, they drive chronic inflammation, joint pain, memory loss, and faster muscle breakdown. And here's a shocking number. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that nearly 70% of Americans over 60 eat at least one breakfast food they believe is healthy, but that actually fuels inflammation and muscle loss. Chances are, you might be in that group right now. The good news is you don't need expensive pills or strict diets. Just one smart change to your morning routine can flip the script. When you start your day with high-quality protein, healthy fats, and real fiber, your energy stays stable, your brain stays sharp, your muscles stay strong, and your immune system works the way it should. Cleveland Clinic tested this. Older adults who ate protein-rich, healthy fat breakfasts preserved 45% more muscle compared to those who started the day with refined carbs. That means breakfast alone could decide whether you stay independent for the next decade or not. In this video, I'll reveal 5 breakfast foods you should avoid because they're quietly damaging your health, and 5 powerful foods you should eat to turn breakfast into true medicine after 60. But I won't just list them. I'll explain why they hurt your body, what really happens inside, and give you clear swaps you can apply as soon as tomorrow morning. This isn't theory. It's science backed by Mayo Clinic, Harvard Health, and Cleveland Clinic. So before we dive in, ask yourself this. The food on your breakfast table today, is it medicine or poison? The answer could change the next 10 years of your life. There's one food so familiar that most people overlook its real power: eggs. But not all eggs are the same. When it comes to health after 60, what I want to highlight is pasture-raised eggs. They are one of the simplest breakfast foods, yet one of the most powerful ways to protect your muscles and your memory. Let's start with muscles. After 60, muscle loss, also called sarcopenia, accelerates quickly. According to Mayo Clinic, the average person loses 1 to 2% of muscle mass every year after age 50 if they don't pay attention to nutrition. And muscle isn't just about strength in the gym. It's about independence in daily life. Standing up from a chair, climbing stairs with confidence, or carrying your own groceries. Eggs are one of the highest quality protein sources science has ever identified. Each egg has about 6 grams of complete protein. That means all 9 essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared older adults who started breakfast with more than 25 grams of protein to those who ate mostly carbs. The result: the high-protein group preserved 45% more muscle over 5 years. So when you begin your morning with eggs, you're not just fueling up, you're giving your body the raw materials to fight muscle loss. Now let's talk about the brain. One nutrient in eggs doesn't get enough attention: choline. Choline helps produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter tied directly to memory and focus. Harvard Health points out that people with long-term low choline intake are at higher risk of memory decline and poor concentration. One egg provides about 150 milligrams of choline, nearly 30% of your daily needs. That makes eggs a rare nutrient treasure you won't find in many other breakfast foods. But what about cholesterol? For decades, eggs were labeled the enemy of heart health. Modern science has flipped that idea upside down. Research from Cleveland Clinic and several meta-analyses show that cholesterol in eggs does not increase heart risk for most people, especially compared to the real danger from refined carbs and added sugars. For older adults, a morning egg is far safer than a bowl of sweetened cereal or a slice of white bread with jam. Here's what makes pasture-raised eggs stand out. Hens raised outdoors, eating insects and natural grains, produce eggs with far more omega-3s, vitamin D, and vitamin E compared to conventional eggs. According to the Journal of Food Science, pasture-raised eggs can have double the omega-3s and significantly higher vitamin D. For people over 60, vitamin D doesn't just protect bones. It lowers the risk of depression and helps preserve brain function. Cooking matters too. Pasture-raised eggs are best when boiled soft, poached, or cooked gently in olive oil. Avoid deep frying or using industrial seed oils like canola or soybean, since high heat damages healthy fats and creates harmful free radicals. Instead, use a little grass-fed butter or extra virgin olive oil. Picture this breakfast: a soft, sunny-side-up pasture-raised egg with a slice of whole-grain bread and a few slices of avocado. Protein to protect your muscles, choline to support your memory, healthy fats for your heart, and fiber to keep your blood sugar steady. That's not just a meal. That's a true power breakfast for life after 60. And I want you to remember this: one egg each morning can do more than you think. It doesn't just fill you up. It's a compressed bundle of nutrients, packed inside a small shell, powerful enough to help you walk faster, remember more clearly, and stay independent longer. So instead of doubting eggs, let them be the foundation of your breakfast. Because in the world of foods after 60, there are very few choices as easy, as chewable, as practical, and as powerful as pasture-raised eggs. Walk into any supermarket and you'll see rows of fruit juice cartons stamped with labels like 100% natural, no added sugar, or vitamin C boost. Many people over 60 grab these as a healthier alternative to soda. But the truth is hard to swallow. Boxed fruit juice is not much different from drinking a can of soda in the morning. Why? Because during processing, most of the natural fiber is stripped away. What's left is basically liquid fructose sugar. According to Harvard School of Public Health, 1 cup of packaged orange juice contains up to 26 grams of sugar. That's more than 6 teaspoons. And when you drink it, that sugar hits your bloodstream almost instantly. Younger bodies may handle it better. But after 60, insulin sensitivity has already declined. Cleveland Clinic warns that big morning blood sugar swings don't just leave you tired. They raise the risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even dementia. In fact, a 2019 study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people who drank fruit juice regularly had a 24% higher risk of early death compared to those who limited it. The danger is deceptive. You drink juice, feel refreshed, maybe even energized, but within an hour you're shaky, hungry, and often drowsy. That's the classic spike and crash. Repeated day after day, it speeds up muscle loss, dulls memory, and fuels chronic inflammation that leaves joints aching. What about vitamin C? Juice companies love to advertise it. But here's the truth. You can get the same, or even more, vitamin C by eating a fresh orange or a handful of berries. And with the fruit itself, you also get fiber to protect your gut and stabilize blood sugar. Meanwhile, vitamin C in packaged juice is often degraded by heat processing and long storage. Here's a simple picture. Eat an orange, and the natural fiber slows sugar absorption, keeping blood sugar steady. Drink a box of orange juice, and you're pouring that sugar straight into your bloodstream in minutes. It's like opening the faucet full blast instead of letting water drip steadily. For older adults, that difference is not trivial. It can accelerate blood vessel inflammation, damage memory, and even increase the risk of falls due to muscle weakness and dizziness. Mayo Clinic also points out that fruit juice can contribute to abdominal fat, one of the strongest risk factors for heart disease and stroke. So what's the solution? Simple. Choose whole fruit or make a smoothie that blends fruit with leafy greens. That way you keep the fiber, slow down sugar absorption, and add more vitamins and minerals. The key point to remember is this: boxed fruit juice is not fruit. It's liquid sugar disguised in colorful packaging. After 60, every glass of morning juice could be a hidden trap, pushing you closer to diabetes, memory decline, and chronic inflammation. So if you see that carton of orange or apple juice on your breakfast table, think twice. Replace it with fresh berries or a green smoothie, and you'll notice the difference: more stable energy, clearer thinking, and a stronger body. When it comes to protecting your brain and your heart after 60, one food keeps showing up again and again in scientific research: walnuts. They look small, rough on the outside, but inside they hold a treasure chest of rare nutrients. Let's start with the brain. After 60, nerve cells and synapse connections begin to decline. That's why short-term memory, focus, and mental speed often aren't what they used to be. Walnuts stand out because they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. Your body can convert some of this into EPA and DHA, the brain-protective nutrients usually found in fish. A large study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease followed over 3,000 older adults for 5 years. The result: those who ate walnuts regularly scored higher on memory tests, learning ability, and processing speed. In other words, walnuts act like a natural vitamin for the brain, keeping your mind sharper as you age. And it's not just your brain, your heart benefits too. Research from Harvard School of Public Health shows that eating just 30 grams of walnuts a day, about a small handful, can lower heart disease risk by up to 20%. Why? Because the omega-3s in walnuts help reduce inflammation, lower LDL cholesterol, and improve blood vessel flexibility. After 60, when arteries tend to stiffen, that flexibility is critical for lowering the risk of high blood pressure and stroke. Walnuts also shine in another area: antioxidants. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that walnuts have nearly twice the antioxidant power of most other nuts. Free radicals, those unstable molecules, are the main drivers of cellular aging, wrinkled skin, weak muscles, and cognitive decline. So eating walnuts each morning is like switching on an anti-aging shield from the inside. And here's something most people don't know: walnuts naturally contain melatonin. That's the hormone that regulates sleep-wake cycles. As people age, sleep often becomes lighter and less restorative. A small study in nutrition found that adding walnuts to the diet improved both sleep quality and sleep duration in people over 60. Better sleep means better brain recovery, less daytime fatigue, and more resilience. So how should you eat them? You don't need a lot. 4 to 5 walnuts, just a small handful, is enough each morning. You can eat them plain, sprinkle them over plain Greek yogurt, mix them into steel-cut oats, or blend them into a smoothie. Just avoid the salted or sugar-coated versions. They cancel out the benefits and increase risk for heart problems. Now picture this. Instead of drinking a boxed orange juice loaded with sugar, you grab a handful of walnuts. The result: your blood sugar stays steady. Your brain gets omega-3, your heart receives antioxidants, and your sleep improves thanks to melatonin. That's the difference between a damaging breakfast and a healing breakfast. And I want you to remember this: every walnut is like a natural pill. It protects your brain, your heart, your sleep, and your independence. And unlike pills, it tastes good, it's easy to eat, and it can become a daily habit. So starting tomorrow, keep a jar of walnuts on your kitchen counter. Each morning, when you make your coffee or prepare breakfast, grab a small handful. It's simple, but powerful enough to change your health for years to come. If you've ever thought that a slice of sausage or a few pieces of deli ham in your morning sandwich is a quick, harmless option, it's time to stop. Science shows that after 60, processed meats are among the most dangerous foods for your heart, your brain, and your longevity. First, let's be clear about what processed meats are. We're talking about sausage, bacon, ham, hot dogs, deli meats. These products are usually loaded with nitrates and nitrites, preservatives that keep the pink color and prevent spoilage. The problem? Inside your body, these compounds can convert into nitrosamines, which are classified by the World Health Organization as cancer-causing. Back in 2015, the WHO made it official. Eating just 50 grams of processed meat per day raises the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. But the danger doesn't stop there. A massive Harvard study that tracked more than 120,000 people over 20 years found that those who ate processed meats regularly had a 20% higher risk of early death, especially from heart disease and cancer. And here's why it's even worse after 60. Your body is already more sensitive to inflammation. Processed meats are like fuel on the fire. They're high in saturated fat and sodium, two triggers that spike blood pressure, stiffen arteries, and dramatically increase stroke risk. Cleveland Clinic has even warned that frequent consumption of processed meats is linked to higher rates of dementia because poor circulation starves the brain of oxygen. Let's talk about sodium. A single serving of sausage can pack 700 to 900 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly half the daily limit for an older adult in just one meal. The fallout: swelling, higher risk of heart failure, weaker bones, because excess salt pulls calcium out of bone tissue, and even higher risk of falls. Now you might be thinking, but I only eat a little in the morning. That can't be too bad. The truth is, it's the long-term buildup that matters. Eating deli meat 3 or 4 times a week, year after year, doesn't just lead to indigestion. It quietly accelerates artery damage, muscle loss, and cognitive decline. So what's the smarter swap? If you want a protein-rich breakfast, go for pasture-raised eggs, a piece of grilled salmon, or some home-cooked chicken breast. These choices give you high-quality protein without the preservatives and sodium bombs. I want you to picture this. Each slice of deli ham may look small and harmless, but biologically, it's like a ticking time bomb of salt and chemicals. And after 60, your heart, your brain, and your immune system simply can't absorb that damage anymore. When you replace your morning sausage with a boiled egg or swap bacon for a slice of salmon, you're not just changing a meal. You're rewriting the trajectory of your next decade of health. That's the difference between relying on pills and living independently, strong and sharp into your 80s and 90s. When people think about healthy foods, they usually imagine salmon, berries, or nuts. But there's one humble ingredient found in every grocery store, easy to cook, and surprisingly powerful for anyone over 60. That's mushrooms. For older adults, mushrooms aren't just tasty. They're like a natural medicine cabinet packed into a simple food. Let's start with vitamin D. After 60, your body produces less vitamin D from sunlight. Yet vitamin D is critical for bone strength and preventing osteoporosis. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who got vitamin D from food, especially mushrooms, had up to a 20% lower risk of bone fractures. But the benefits don't stop at bones. Vitamin D also boosts your immune system. According to Cleveland Clinic, people who maintain healthy vitamin D levels are less likely to suffer respiratory infections and recover faster when they do get sick. For older adults, that's not a small advantage. It's life-changing. Now here's something most people don't know. Mushrooms contain a rare antioxidant called ergothioneine, something you can't really get from other foods. In 2019, researchers at Penn State University found that seniors who ate mushrooms at least twice a week had a 50% lower risk of cognitive decline compared to those who rarely ate them. Think about that. Half the risk just by eating mushrooms regularly. It suggests that ergothioneine may act like a natural shield against Alzheimer's and dementia. And mushrooms can help with weight control too. They're high in fiber, low in calories, and they keep you full. 1 cup of mushrooms has only about 20 calories, but still leaves you satisfied. So if you swap out sausage for scrambled eggs with mushrooms, you're cutting sodium and saturated fat, while still getting protein and essential minerals. There's more. Varieties like shiitake, maidake, and oyster mushrooms are rich in beta-glucan, a soluble fiber shown to lower cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and feed the good bacteria in your gut. As digestion slows down with age, this kind of probiotic support is exactly what your body needs. So how should you prepare them? Keep it simple. Sauté lightly with olive oil, add to an omelet, simmer in a soup, or roast in the oven. Avoid deep frying because that cancels out the health benefits. I want you to picture this. Today you had sausage for breakfast. Your body is battling salt, nitrates, and unhealthy fats. Tomorrow, imagine replacing that with scrambled eggs and mushrooms. Both are high in protein, but one raises your risk of cancer and inflammation while the other provides vitamin D, antioxidants, and brain protection. The difference is bigger than you think. Mushrooms aren't exotic. They're not expensive. But they carry powerful benefits for your brain, your bones, and your long-term independence. After 60, adding mushrooms to your meals just a few times a week is like giving your body a shield against aging. So next time you walk through the grocery store, stop at the mushroom section. Because that little bag of mushrooms might just be your secret weapon for staying sharp, strong, and full of energy into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Have you ever started your morning with a muffin, a donut, or maybe a buttery croissant with your coffee? A lot of Americans do. It's quick, convenient, and delicious. But here's the truth. After 60, pastries and sweet baked goods are among the worst choices you can make for your health. Let's break it down. Most store-bought pastries are made with refined flour and added sugar. A medium-sized muffin can contain 35 to 40 grams of sugar. That's almost 10 teaspoons. For older adults whose insulin system is already weaker, that sugar hit is like a shock to the body. Mayo Clinic warns that after 60, every blood sugar spike leaves tiny injuries in your blood vessels and nerves, driving diabetes complications and memory decline. And it's not just the sugar. Most pastries also contain trans fats and hydrogenated oils, added to keep them crispy, rich, and shelf-stable. But trans fats are not safe at any level. The FDA has already banned them because they raise LDL, the bad cholesterol, and lower HDL, the good cholesterol. That means a much higher risk of heart disease and stroke. A large study published in the Journal of Nutrition showed that people who eat pastries and baked sweets frequently have a 30% higher risk of heart disease compared to those who rarely eat them. And older adults, over 60, are the most vulnerable because their arteries are already less flexible. There's another problem. Pastries provide almost no fiber, vitamins, or minerals. In other words, they're just empty calories. You feel full for a short while, but your body isn't nourished. The result? You're quickly hungry again, you snack more, and weight gain follows, especially belly fat, which is a major risk factor for type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's disease. Here's a detail many people miss. Pastries are often paired with sweetened coffee or a latte. That combination is a sugar and caffeine bomb. It gives you a burst of energy for maybe an hour, but then comes the crash, fatigue, shaky hands, trouble focusing. For younger people, that's an annoyance. For older adults, those energy swings can mean dizziness, falls, or even accidents while driving. So what's a smarter alternative? If you want something to enjoy with your morning coffee, try whole grain toast with almond butter or a bowl of oats with berries. These choices give you fiber, healthy fats, and real nutrition. Now imagine this. Two people, both 65 years old. One starts the day with a glazed donut and a sweet latte. The other begins with oatmeal, walnuts, and green tea. Fast forward 5 years. Who do you think will have a stronger heart, a sharper brain, and a more stable weight? The answer is obvious. Morning pastries may look harmless, but they're really just sugar disguised as flour. They taste good, they're tempting, but the long-term price is heavy. After 60, your body no longer has the resilience to pay that price. So keep pastries as an occasional treat, not the foundation of your day. If I had to choose one drink that deserves to be called longevity in a cup, the answer would be green tea. Thousands of studies confirm that drinking green tea regularly can extend your life, lower the risk of heart disease and cancer, and most importantly, keep your brain sharp after 60. So what makes green tea so special? The key is a compound called epigallocatechin gallate. It's a powerful catechin, an antioxidant that's dozens of times stronger than vitamin C. Egg works like a shield, protecting your cells from damage, reducing inflammation, and guarding your DNA against the wear and tear of aging. A major study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology followed over 100,000 people. It found that those who drank green tea at least 3 times a week had a 25% lower risk of heart attack and stroke, and lived on average 3 years longer than non-tea drinkers. For anyone over 60, that's a meaningful difference. But it's not just your heart. Green tea also nourishes your brain. Researchers at the University of Basel in Switzerland used brain imaging and found that green tea extract increased connectivity between brain regions linked to memory. The result: sharper focus and better recall, 2 essentials for protecting against Alzheimer's disease. And let's not forget blood sugar and weight control. Polyphenols in green tea help your body burn fat more efficiently and improve insulin sensitivity. A Japanese clinical trial showed that drinking 2 to 3 cups of green tea daily reduced the risk of type 2 diabetes by 10 to 15% in older adults. There's more. Green tea fights inflammation, strengthens the immune system, and even supports bone health by improving density in the hips and spine. So how should you drink it? The best way is simple, hot, without sugar. If you like, add a squeeze of lemon to boost antioxidant absorption. Avoid drinking too close to bedtime since caffeine can interfere with sleep. For people over 60, 2 to 3 small cups a day are just right. Now picture this. Instead of starting your morning with soda or a sweet latte, you sip a warm cup of green tea. Instead of a sugar crash, you get steady energy, gentle alertness, and quiet protection for your heart, your brain, and your entire body. Green tea isn't exotic or expensive. It's a gift from nature, something anyone can access. And after 60, it may be one of the simplest, most powerful habits to protect your health, preserve your mind, and extend your life. In America, it's impossible to miss them. Those shiny cans of energy drinks are everywhere: supermarkets, gas stations, even drugstores. They promise alertness, power, and explosive energy. But after 60, energy drinks are nothing less than a ticking time bomb for your heart and your brain. Let's take a closer look. Most energy drinks are loaded with extremely high doses of caffeine, 2 to 3 times more than a cup of coffee. On top of that, they contain added sugar, 20 to 40 grams per can, and stimulants like taurine, guarana, and ginseng. For younger bodies, that's already a strain. But after 60, with a cardiovascular system that's naturally weaker, the combination of caffeine and sugar can be dangerous. According to the American Heart Association, high doses of caffeine in energy drinks can spike heart rate and blood pressure, trigger irregular heartbeats, and double the risk of stroke in older adults with a history of hypertension. Mayo Clinic researchers found that just one 16-ounce can, about 473 milliliters, increased blood pressure by 10 millimeters of mercury and raised stress hormones by 6% within hours. For someone over 60, that spike can be enough to cause dizziness, fainting, or even hospitalization for arrhythmia. And that's not all. The heavy sugar load sends your blood sugar skyrocketing and then crashing. The result? Fatigue, shakiness, poor concentration. For seniors, that energy crash isn't just inconvenient, it can lead to balance problems and falls. A 2020 study in Frontiers in Public Health also warned that frequent energy drink use is linked to higher anxiety, disrupted sleep, and memory problems, issues already common in older adults. The scary part is, many people think it's just one can, it can't hurt. But even one can delivers 160 to 200 milligrams of caffeine and up to 40 grams of sugar. For a heart over 60, that's a shock dose. So what's the alternative? If you need morning alertness, choose green tea or light black coffee. If you want hydration and electrolytes, natural coconut water is a far safer option. Now picture this. The same 65-year-old man has two mornings. One day he grabs an energy drink before work. His heart races, blood pressure spikes, his brain feels tense. The next day he sips a cup of green tea. His energy is steady, his memory sharper, his mood calm. After a few years, the difference becomes obvious. One path leads to hospital visits, the other to healthy independence. After 60, what you need isn't explosive energy for 2 hours. What you need is steady, reliable energy for the whole day. And energy drinks will never give you that. So here we are. We've walked together through an important journey, discovering the breakfast foods that can either be medicine or poison after 60. Let's recap. The silent enemies to stay away from: processed meats like bacon and cold cuts, sugary sodas, pastries and donuts, and energy drinks. They may be tasty, they may be convenient, but in reality, they're sugar bombs, trans fats, and chemicals quietly destroying your heart, your brain, and your muscles. And then, the powerful allies your body needs every single day after 60: leafy greens, fatty fish, mushrooms, and green tea. These aren't just foods. They are steady energy, anti-inflammatory protection, brain support, stronger bones, and yes, even extra years of life. After 60, breakfast is no longer just about filling your stomach. It's medicine. It sets the tone for your health, not just for today, but for the years ahead. A pastry may give you a few minutes of pleasure, but a plate of vegetables, salmon, and a cup of green tea may give you years of strength, clarity, and independence. So picture this: 2 paths. On the first path, you stick with old habits: soda, donuts, fried sausage. It feels easy now, but in a few years your heart grows weaker, your memory fades, your joints ache. On the second path, you start your day with greens, mushrooms, fatty fish, and tea. Your body feels lighter, your mind sharper, and most importantly, you stay independent and free. And tomorrow morning, that choice is sitting right in front of you on the breakfast table. Doctors have warned us clearly. After 60, breakfast can be medicine or poison. The question is, which one will you choose? If this video gave you new knowledge, motivation, or even just one idea to change your health, hit that like button to support us. Subscribe so you won't miss the next video. And please share this with a friend or loved one, because sometimes just one breakfast change can save someone's health and independence. Your health is in your hands, and it all begins with breakfast tomorrow.